started drinking, because I was in my relationship from like 15 till 20. So then I'd lost my weight, and then I was like drinking more, just going out, partying all the time. And then I started to feel my weight creeping back on. But because I'd only, when I lost my weight, dealt with losing the weight, hadn't dealt with why I gained the weight in the first place, I then went back to using food as a comfort. So then I could feel my clothes getting tight again, and rather than being strong enough and being like, right, it's because I'm eating too much, I was like, oh, I'm just going to keep eating. And then one day I felt really sick and had really bad belly aches. I was like, oh, maybe I'm sick. So I did, because I was like, I can do it just this once because it's how I'm feeling. But then it got into a habit, I guess, and a pattern. So if I felt alone, sad, whatever, I'd go and binge and eat. And then, because I didn't want to get big again, I'd go and make myself sick. And then in the end, it got to the point where you had no control over it, and it consumed everything.
Yeah.
And that's when I went to doctors. They literally just put you on pills, or put me on pills. Pills just numb everything. They don't help anything. It just numbs you, so you don't have any kind of feelings, any kind of emotion. It's just, in my opinion, made me worse. Then I went to see a counsellor, and she was trying to teach me CBT and all these different things. And I remember one point sat with this lady, and she was bigger than I had ever been. And I remember sat there, and I remember thinking, how can you be telling me how to eat and deal with food when you obviously use food as comfort for yourself? And I said it to her, and she was a bit like, I was like, I had no respect for her in that context, in that environment, because she was telling me something and not doing it herself. So I felt like that triggered me quite a bit, and I was a bit worse. What point? Well, between all that as well, I did stop for a period, if you like, when I found out I was pregnant, which was, now it's like, oh, well, obviously I was putting, at that point, even though I hadn't had my baby was more important than me at that time. So I was able to just stop. But again, I had the wrong mindset of I was going to get weight and going to put weight on and get big anyway, being pregnant, so I can just eat everything again. So I did. During my pregnancy, I put on like nearly 5 stone. And then after I'd had Tia, I breastfed and I exercised and I ate well, and I'd lost most of that weight by the time she was 6 months, and I was fine. Again, then I went and got into, I'd had lots of issues with Tia's dad, and me and him split up when she was about 5 months old, and I was really low mentally, literally everywhere. I was really, really low, and it convinced me that I'd be alone forever and no one would want a single mum and all this lot. So then I got into a relationship when Tia was just for her first birthday. So I've been on my own about 7 or 8 months. And he became very controlling, very fast and all sorts. So again, I then turned back to food, and bulimia was back, kind of thing. And then one day when Tia was about, I think she was about 4, she'd gone to my mum's for a night, and my mum said to me, oh, Tia had her pudding, and then said something about needing to go to the toilet to be sick. And I was like, oh my God. Like, she was always in bed, or at school, or at school nursery at that point, or anything like that, when I was being ill or being sick, making myself sick. So then I was like, she knows. How does she know? So then straight away I was like, I need to do something. So then I started doing my inner work, I guess, and really healing from the inside, questioning why I was doing it, what I was doing it for, and it all went back to childhood to me. So it's just healing that trauma energy, releasing it, and changing it, basically. But it's a big journey. It was mindset, it was healing my energy, trauma energy, healing everything, literally healing my gut health part of that as well, because that's mental health related to gut health. Yeah, that was it really.
Wow. Did you find out how Tia knew? Have you ever asked her?
No, I haven't.
No.
She, see, this is the other thing, I suppose. I don't know if that was my mum did know and was using Tia to get to me that way. I don't know. Maybe I might ask my mum, actually.
Because it would be a very odd thing for a child. You know, he didn't even know what bulimia was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it would be an odd thing for a child to hear their mum being sick and have the capacity to either find the information out or have the common sense or the gut instinct to figure it out themselves, that was linked to an eating disorder or whatnot. So Occam's razor again, isn't it?
Yeah.
The most likely scenario is
Mum probably did
mum's
that.
manipulating or said the odd thing here and there.
Yeah.
Because it's slightly more light-hearted. I love watching those videos where you'll see the little kid and they'll go, "Fuck off!" and you're like, they're totally innocent, but they've picked up on the fact that what Mum said.
Yeah.
There was one I watched the other day, and this bloke, English bloke, sat there and his daughter's reading, and he's like, "So then, Lauren, what's this one say?" And she's like, cat. And he's like, "Yeah, good girl, good girl." And he's like, "You might not be able to get the next one. Mummy calls Dad this a lot." She went, "Cunt." And everybody in the room's like laughing. And you're thinking, God, she's obviously picked up, because you imagine how many words somebody says in a day.
Absolutely.
But the children are so intuitive that they go, that word is different to the other words. And I don't know why. I don't hear it as much. And then they start to, parrot it out